Hello, friends. Here we are off on another adventure to buy another vehicle. I'll catch you up at the bus station. Okay, here we are at the bus station. The bus just pulled in. Two-story bus. We're going to be on that bus for 12 hours. I'll catch you up later. Okay, so we bought the truck, 1982 Ford B100 carryall. Yes, it does say F-150 there, but that shouldn't be there. It does need a bit of work. Still has its original wheels on it. Has 3 rows of seats. We're all the way here in Michoacan. We are going to be driving this back. It's going to be one heck of a ride. This has a 302 two-barrel with a 4-speed manual transmission. And of course, the first gear is a granny gear. So this is going to be really fun on the highway. I will catch you up when we get back to the hotel. Hello, friends. I would like to introduce you to the latest purchase, which is a 1982 Ford B150 carryall. We went quite a ways to get this one for our client, and it was a wild trip. Later on, I'll do a video of everything that happened on that trip. This truck was made by Ford, the front end, the doors, and the windshield, and they sent that part to a conversion company to make whatever the client ordered. It could have been this passenger model, it could have been a panel truck, it could have been a 3-door like this one is, it could have been a 2-door. There were just so many variations of what was actually made. It's a very interesting segment, but let me give you a walk around of this. This is a 3-door model, which means there is 2 doors on the right side and 1 door over here. The interior could be original, could not be. I'm not sure at this point. There are 2 rows of seats back there for, I guess it would be 2 kids, 3 if you need to, and then another row would be behind that, and we have that seat back there, which I'll show you, but it needs some repairs before it can be put back into the floor. The front end, the dashboard interior is standard Ford for 1982. This has a 4-speed manual transmission, the first being granny gear, which we really don't use, so that's not really necessary. The wheels, apparently, I have been told, are Mexico only. They were not used on the U.S. trucks. You can correct me if I'm wrong, which I'm sure somebody will. Here we are under the hood. It does have power brakes. It does have power steering. It is a 302 And you might notice something right there, the distributor. When I bought the truck and had to get under the hood for the first time, I was shocked that a 1982 had points. As I understand it, the electronic ignition in the Ford trucks in Mexico was not used until 1985 or 1986. You can see the coil has been moved all the way over here to the fender for some reason. And when I bought the truck, they had wrapped the coil wire and the wires to run the coil in electrical tape, putting them together, and that did not make any sense to me, so we took that apart. We did repair the radiator because it is very hot here, and it lived in a temperate environment all of its life. So we're just trying to make sure it's not gonna overheat here. On this side, we have one flip out window, which was optional because I have seen these with windows that don't move. And then the rear window is your standard window that doesn't move. The taillights are from this year Ford. I want to show you this though. I don't know if you can see that in there, but the bolts that are supposed to be on the inside of the taillight, they didn't bother to make any holes in the body so you could mount it. So it just has these two on this side that has been holding the taillight in for over 40 years. This one has barn doors. It also was available with the Bronco tailgate with the electric window. This one opens here, just your basic. There's nothing fancy about this. Somebody had a stereo system in there at one time. It has all been removed. This has another handle here, which opens this door. Also flip out windows in the back here. And the way they made these doors, this one is actually metal, which is good. The rear doors are metal, just in case. This truck has never had a trailer hitch on it, ever. So there's been no stress on the chassis, which is good. This is, for lack of a better word, the third row seat. The brackets underneath have been cut or whatever, so we're gonna try to figure out a way to mount it. And the spare tire would normally go underneath, but I don't want to get dirty trying to do that. This interior piece here, this piece here, is one piece from over there all the way around. It would come out in one piece. They riveted it in and called it a day. That's it. That's all they did. They created armrests for the kids, and it's fiberglass. The wheel wells are inside the truck, just where they would be on a pickup. The floor has some foam, and I'm not even sure what is underneath that. The underneath of this truck is as solid as the day it came out of the factory. It's absolutely beautiful underneath. Yeah, this one too. Let's get to this rear door. That was me. Sorry. This rear door here. They had to create this out of nothing because there was nothing else that looked like this. And again, the flip out window is optional. So you have metal here. This is not metal. This is fiberglass. All in here. They had to create this tiny little door panel here out of nothing. And they didn't make a whole lot of these trucks, so I don't know if they had a stamping machine or how they did that. But this step here. It has a raised floor, as you can see, which sorry about it being kind of dark, but we recently installed those seat belts right there. This truck came with no seat belts whatsoever. Now the problem we had was those seat belts are from an extra cab pickup truck, which did not have this raised floor. That means that the retractor had to be mounted higher than it was in the pickup truck, so there's extra belt there. So it works. It excuse me. It will do what it needs to do. It was all brackets were built behind the walls on both sides. They are very safe, but they were never put in at the factory. Somebody created this headliner, which looks really nice, and also the headliner is over here too, the fabric. So these are very interesting trucks. They come in so many different variations. As a general rule, they have no options. You get, this one does have a heater. See, this does have heater controls. Some of them don't. The one that I was going to buy before this one was a dark red one, and it had no heater. So none of that would have been there. The heater hoses wouldn't have been there. It would have just been nothing. So this push bar here is on the original invoice from Ford from 1982. It came from it didn't come from the factory, it came from Ford. The Ford dealer put it on, that has been on there since day one. Those lights on there are wired into the high beams. The only way to get them to turn on is to put your high beams on. There's no auxiliary switch or anything. It's wired directly into the Ford wiring system. Just, these were never sold in the US, obviously, and I see comments on Facebook and stuff like that say, well, why did Mexico get all the interesting trucks? Well, this was made in Mexico. This was created in Mexico. It wasn't Ford sending things to Mexico that they didn't sell in the US. This was a creation of Mexico, and obviously you can tell they put them together. It took 3 months, 2.5 months to build this truck. The original cab and chassis was sold in September. It was created in September of 82, and the truck was sold in December of 82 to the final buyer. We have all the original documents on it. The original bill of sale on the truck is the ownership document in Mexico. So we get to see who bought it new, who the next owner was, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And this one has had a few. So there's only one tank on this. Some pickups have two. It has a long tank, which got in the way of the seatbelt installation. So we'll know on the next one what we really need to do, because it was not an easy job to put seatbelts in this. But the next video, I'll tell you about my stories. It'll be story time again on bringing this thing back. We drove it 17 hours back from where it was in the middle of a forest back to where we are, and the truck got a lot of attention, good and bad, but that is a story for another time. So I hope you enjoyed this look at a Mexican spec, I got it in there, Mexican spec truck that was never available in the US. I will see you later. Please like, share, subscribe. Actually, subscribe first, then do the rest. Have a great day.